Hello and what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Miguel. You're watching Miguel EDC, the channel where we talk everything EDC gear here. And today we're checking out another knife here from CJRB. This box just came in part of a bigger package. I figure I take it out of the box, just focus on the actual box here so we can cut to the chase, if you know what I mean, pun intended. And of course, I'll be sharing with you my raw first impressions of this knife. It's kind of the whole unboxing experience, if you would. This knife and every other knife that you see in this video will be linked down below. So if you're interested in checking prices, availability, variants, and all that good stuff, all those details will be down there. Without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at this guy. Right, we got the About CJRB. You can pause the video there if you want to check that out for more details. Right, we got the zipper pouch here with the silica gel going on there on the inside. Go ahead and get this guy open here. Bada bing, bada boom. We got the wiping cloth there, right, with the CJRB logo. Right, we got the premium pouch here, right, with a pocket on each side. Nice little furry inside, if you would. But let's take a look at the knife. Here we go. All right, we are finally looking at the, what do we have here? This is, I believe this is the mini pyrite, right? I believe that's what it's called. Take a look. This one is in this pink color, and I can tell you right off the bat, the moment my wife sees this knife, she is absolutely going to want to snatch it away from me right away. One thing you notice is those beautiful aluminum scales going on, nice and contour all around. Right, deep pocket carry clip that is reversible for a button lock, you know, ambidextrous friendly knife, as you would imagine. That's looking pretty good. The lanyard hole never looked bigger on a tiny knife than it does here. Big old lanyard tube going on there. It is a sandwich construction, right? 2 standoffs, and we do have recessed liners on the inside. Let's go ahead and get this guy deployed here. Right, one thing I'll tell you though is I do like how they did the pocket clip. It is a smaller clip than you find on the bigger size Pyrite and many other CJRB models, right, for that matter. So they made it proportionate to the size of the tiny knife here. So that's definitely the way to go. With that being said, yeah, I'll do some size comparisons here, right, kind of sharing this guy. There's another mini model that I have that I'll share with you here in just a moment, comparing them and whatnot. But this one has the opening hole as compared to the thumb studs on the other model we looked at. And so this probably has my kind of blade geometry. So here we go. If you guys are ready, I'm ready. Bam! Oh man, that was one snappy opening right there. Holy smokes. Yeah, beyond any shadow of doubt, this is absolutely my blade geometry right here. Talk about an elegant razor blade, if you would. I mean, you got the Alt variant, right? It's what CJRB calls most of their knives whenever they put a Warncliffe blade, sheep's foot blade on there. So I believe they kind of went backwards. I think they called this one the mini pyrite, and then they called the other one the Mica or something like that. So, you know, interesting naming convention there for me. This is the mini pyrite alt. The other one will always be the mini pyrite, but that's just me. I mean, you gotta love the beautiful Warncliffe sheep's foot blade here. It is a flat grind going on this bad boy, right? Satin finish, looking pretty nice. Got the CJRB logo on this side, and it is, of course, AR RPM 9 steel. It is a really good budget steel. It is a spray form steel. Definitely check out Knife Steel Nerds video on that if you want to check out more details, get nerdy with it. And we do have that peel shape opening hole there, right? So button lock, of course. Ooh, that drop shot action is really good. Probably more drop shot out of the box than the mini pyrite that we looked at with the blue aluminum handle. So it's a button lock, right, in the traditional sense, right? You got that cylinder there, right, under spring tension. This also works as sort of your detent, right? So you break that detent when you open the knife, whether you do thumb deployment or you do reverse flick, right? Reverse flick is obviously my favorite, if you can't tell. Spidey flick this thing all day. So check that out. Ooh, that was a close call right there, my friends. This thing all day. Yeah, that was a very close call. And by the way, in case you're wondering why my hands look all cracked and stuff, so apparently I have an allergy to grease, and I was doing some work on my car recently. I got even though I was wearing gloves, I ended up getting some grease on my fingers, so it kind of cracks my screen a little, my skin a little bit, and gets there. And even though I've washed my hands a bajillion times, it just goes away over time. But yeah, apparently I wasn't built to be a mechanic, even though I do like working on my cars. But go figure. I have to be careful with this guy. Almost tried to bite me there for a moment. So yeah, very snappy on the open. Let's listen to the acoustics here. I should probably go back to explaining to you the the way a plunge lock works. I feel like I'm all over the place with this knife. So yeah, you got the cylinder here under spring tension. When the blade opens all the way, there's a little groove on the tang on the blade there around the pivot area where it goes into. Should probably do right a little zoom in. Look at that. Look at that high definition zoom. Boom, right? Look at that, right? And so it is nice and locked right there. It's not going anywhere. On the close, when you push the button, you're basically moving that cylinder out of the way so the blade can close. And as the blade closes, right, pay attention right here, that cylinder is going to kind of pop back in place. You overcome that cylinder as your quote-unquote detent, and I'm doing air quotes here, which you obviously can't see with the zoomed in angle, but all right, check it out one last time. So that is a traditional plunge lock, button lock in a nutshell. Needless to say, if you're new to button locks, I mean, they are as fidgety as it gets. So if you're looking for a fidgety knife, they absolutely deliver on that department. I want to say I got to figure out the thumb deployment here with the hole. Got to give it the beans, otherwise I feel like I'm filling it there too much. There we go. Bam. Little flick of the wrist. Never hurt either. And these are nice and contour all the way around, so that makes it nice and comfortable. Of course, in the ergonomics department, if you do the standard grip, right, your pinky is going to be left out in no man's land over here. So these, of course, are obviously made to forward choke, which you absolutely can with this nice finger choil situation going on there. Looking pretty good, if you know what I mean, right? That's looking awesome right there, right? Definitely also really good for a sharpening situation, right? You're not going to develop a smile on this guy anytime soon, which is good. Lock up, it's rock solid here, no side to side, no up and down, right? No pivot lash, and more importantly, no button stick on this guy, which definitely a plus right there out of the box. Good alignment, smack in the middle there. Maybe a hair closer to the left, if I'm being very nitpicky. All right, you guys be the judge there. Let me know. Looks maybe a hair to the left, but yeah, nothing crazy. I'm sure I could probably fix that in the pivot there, but action is great. Action is really good. But yeah, let's go ahead and do our size comparisons. Otherwise, I'm just going to be fidgeting with this thing all day and not get you an accurate size comparison. Here we go. Actually, I think we might have enough room to put them all here on the table. I'm going to put this guy here. So to me, this would have been the Mini Pyrite, and this would have been the Mini Pyrite Alt. Somewhere in there, I think some of these are called one of these is called the Mica or something, right? I'll just go ahead and put it on the screen there. So, of course, you have the OG Pyrite. I mean, this is, got to be one of the most iconic knives to go down in history, I think, because everybody and their mothers were talking about it. So this is the mini version of that. And this, the Pyrite Alt, right, is the bigger version of this guy. All right, so take a look there in its full glory. Obviously, you can see the big jump size difference, right, from one model to the other. Especially, I mean, you probably could be wondering, like, who could possibly use a knife that tiny? Well, let me tell you, there are places, believe it or not, right? You might want to sit down for this one. There are places in the world where you can only carry a sharp tool of a certain length, right? There you go. I said it, in case you didn't know. Now you know. So for people who can only carry a certain length of knife, I mean, these smaller EDC knives are definitely going to deliver there for people like that. Or perhaps you are working at an office setting, right? Maybe taking a bigger knife, like one of these guys, might be a little bit more intimidating to your coworkers, right? Carrying a smaller EDC, like one of these other guys, is definitely probably going to be a little bit less intimidating. And also light carry, right? Easy to EDC too, right? You have less weight on you, whatever the case may be. And to me, I'll tell you how the way I'm going to carry these guys, I'm going to make them complement each other. So I'm probably going to carry this guy with the large Pyrite. I'm going to carry this guy with the large Pyrite Alt, right? That for me is going to be a sweet combo right there. And we do have two colors. We got the blue aluminum, we got the pink aluminum going on there, right? You can see which one my wife is going to like the most right off the bat. But yeah, some quick size comparisons, of course, to give you a ballpark. Let me do a few more smaller EDC knives, if you would, right? Here is the Corgi Pup from Vosteed, right? Another small EDC knife there as well. That one's also a button lock. And the newly released Demko Nano Shark as well, also in that small EDC category of knives as well. Check out the unboxing on this guy, right? Recently released. Check it out if you haven't already. Of course, the Corgi Pup, very iconic knife from Vosteed. And a few other budget EDC knives, right? There's the Vosteed Raccoon. That one's going to be a little bit larger, right? Here's the CJRB Acacia, right? And in case you haven't liked the video yet, you should absolutely do so. Smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Thank you very much. All lame dad jokes aside, right? Obviously, these are in a different category. They are that medium to large EDC. Here's the CJRB Hectare Alt, the Kizer Militaw, right? So these are going to be, much bigger, as you can see. And last but not least, the Civivi Vision FG and the Demko Shark Cub. This one's the Stealth, right? Also released recently with the DLC coating on the blade there, 20 CV. Again, all of these are linked down below, so if you're interested in checking prices, availability, variants, and all that good stuff for any of these knives, you absolutely can. Description and pinned comments is where they're at. So, a couple of differences, right, since I have them both here on the table. So, this one, of course, has the drop point blade, right? The other one has the Warncliffe sheep's foot blade. Should probably, just gonna leave them on the table here and maybe zoom in a bit. There we go. You get button lock on both, which is nice. You also get the aluminum scales with a nice contouring, but you will notice the handles are slightly different. This one carries more of the Pyrite OG handle, right? If you would, right, take a look there, right? This handle looks just like that, where they actually did a whole different handle for this guy. I'm not sure where that handle came from, but it doesn't follow the same, DNA of the Pyrite for some reason. A couple other differences or similarities in the bunch here. They both have basically the big old lanyard tube, if you would, right, accented in that brass color. The CJRB logo is bigger on this guy than that guy for some reason. So maybe at some point they were making it this big. They kind of went to that smaller size later on. Who knows? Just an educated guess. And of course, you get the thumb stud deployment on this guy, right? Whereas you get the opening hole deployment on that guy. There you have it, some quick comparison, similarities, and differences between the two. I also recently unboxed this guy in the channel, so if you want to look at this guy in more detail, there's a whole separate unboxing for this guy if you want to check it out in action. Of course, you already know we got to do our scientific cutting test, right? So let's see how this guy does. I'm already cutting like little swirls off of the piece of paper, right? Check it out right there. And here we go. Boom, right? The benefit of this one is the edge is pretty straight. There's an ever so slight amount of curvature in there, but it's very minimal, right? Pretty straight for the most part. Bam, boom. Now, obviously, I mean, you don't have miles and miles of cutting path. It's very limited size-wise. But other thing you have is a very utilitarian tip. So you can draw cuts, utility cuts with this thing all day, every day, right? So you can do pierce cuts and then just cut all the way down like that. It definitely deliver on that department too. I mean, as far as a package opener, package destroyer here, right? Opening up your Amazon boxes and what have you. I mean, this thing is sweet, right? Looking pretty good, looking awesome. And of course, we have the cardboard here. So remember when cutting cardboard, don't cut perpendicular, but rather at an angle like this. And it's gonna look something like this. I'm gonna forward choke on this bad boy, and bam, boom. These things, I said it on the other, on this guy's unboxing, but yeah, these things are surprisingly sharp. Like you wouldn't think, oh, it's a tiny blade. Why would it cut so well? Yeah, it cuts. Definitely cuts really, really good. Definitely punching above its weight for sure. I'll give her a nice little wipe here. This is the beauty of a satin finish, right? Boom. It's like nothing happened. And I didn't get much residue or gunk on the blade this time around. Otherwise, I would have put on some break-free COP, which a lot of you guys have been asking, what do I use? What do I use to clean up my blades, right? Break-free COP. It is not only a cleaner, but a lubricant and a preservative as well. Couple drops of this guy in here, right? Then you kind of rub it with your fingers a little bit, wipe it off, after 30 seconds, a minute, and it's back to looking really nice. But you guys go ahead and rate this guy in the comments. Let me know on a scale from 1 through 10. How sharp is this guy out of the box? Right, of course, 10 being the sharpest. You guys let me know. I will say this, I want to give CJRB some kudos, right? So obviously, you guys have to be living under a rock now to know what TikTok is this day and age, but in case you don't know, it is a social media platform, lots of vertical videos on there, go viral all the time. Out of all the knife companies we work with, right, that we would actually recommend, that we talk about, that make great knives, CJRB is the first one to be on the TikTok shop. And why is that a big deal? Well, it's offering customers a brand new avenue, brand new marketplace to purchase their knives. I believe some of these are on a great deal right now because they're debuting their actual TikTok storefront. So you can pick these guys for a lower price than you would in some of the other marketplaces or their site or Amazon or what have you. Of course, I will have this guy linked everywhere you can pick it up right now, so you guys can have some variety, especially, if you're not into TikTok, but if you are, you owe it to yourself to check out their storefront. I will have this guy obviously linked on my TikTok storefront, so you guys can check it out there as well. And yes, we definitely would love to see more knife companies make their way into TikTok, not only because they're reaching a whole new community of people that wouldn't otherwise know about knives, which is obviously important, but as I give you a zoom in right here, 5x. I also love the fact that it gives them an opportunity, it gives CJRB an opportunity to work with creators, right, a little bit closer. It's very easy to reach people who wouldn't otherwise know about knives. And it's overall a huge win for the knife community. I'm just going to say that. Huge win for the knife community. What do you mean, Miguel? What are you talking about? Well, I mean, it was just a few, maybe 6 months, maybe a whole year ago, right? If you were posting content on TikTok that was knife related, you have to be very specific with how you posted it and how you talked about it. You know, if you gave insight, if you talked through the video, then you were probably okay. If you just posted the typical Instagram video with the background music or whatever, you know, all of a sudden you got flagged because of dangerous acts. You know, you're over here promoting weapons, right? But yeah, they have come around a lot, especially since now they have allowed knives to be sold on the CJRB storefront. And that's just a huge win because, you know, as far as strike goes and as far as content getting flagged for, you know, violating community guidelines and dangerous acts, TikTok has become a little bit more lenient with that, more understanding that a lot of us content creators just showcase nice ass tools, right? We're not over here talking about how great of a weapon they are or what have you. They are a sharp tool that you can use on a daily basis for everyday tasks. That's all they are. Yeah, definitely a huge win right there. Check this guy out. Links below for TikTok shop and everywhere else, as well as every other knife that you saw in this video. If you made it this far into the video, right, give yourself a tap in the back. I really appreciate your love and support. Smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and do consider subscribing if you enjoy content like this on a daily basis, right? You are definitely not going to be disappointed coming back for more. Shout out to my Patreon supporters right there on screen for supporting what I do here, and a huge shout out to CJRB for sending these in for me to check out. Absolutely appreciate it, so I can, you know, obviously give you guys my feedback. Again, this is just an unboxing, first reaction. The actual review video will be coming up here very shortly, so definitely stay tuned for that. I'll go ahead and put 2 videos here on the screen for 2 other very awesome CJRB knives you should definitely check out. One of them being this guy, right, the other mini version of the Pyrite, and you guys should absolutely check out the Acacia, right here as well. So those two are pretty sweet. Check them out. That'll be it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me until the end. Love and appreciate every single one of you. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next one, either this one or this one. Peace.